Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Backstage Bimbo TV. My name is Allison Rouse, your most notorious groupie and author of We've Got Tonight, The Life and Times of Notorious Groupie, me. That's right, everybody. Welcome back. Great to see everybody again. Great to meet all the new people. As always, like I say, I'm always going to be very thankful, so I appreciate you guys so much. And for the person that asked me in the comments of the last video and my ADHD, because I'm always messing with my hair. No, I'm not. I'm not ADHD at all. Thing is, I come from more of, I've done 78 men's magazines, I've done French Vogue, French Cosmo, British Vogue, I've walked runways, so I come from kind of a still life where everything has to be in place and perfect, so if it's kind of a subconscious thing that I'm constantly making everything photo ready. So, that's all. I don't have ADHD. I have slutty HD. Or used to. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, welcome back, guys, to this week's Rocky Talkie. And we're going to go back to the Vegas years. And I cannot remember because I don't have my pass for this. Like I've said 1,000 times, I've had a storage unit break-in back in 2016 that took a lot of my passes. But this is going to be my Vegas years, 96, maybe 97. I know it was with Crazy Lisa, so it had to be before April of 97. But we are going to talk about Rammstein and Til Lindeman, finally! This one's for you, Julianne and Erica. I know you guys have been waiting for this one, so here it is, because this one is not in the book either. So, and the cocktail for today is going to be the German vacation. Yes, it is. Because it was kind of a vacation. Bit of an odd one. But I enjoyed it. So, all right, folks. Grab your Germans, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktails and rocktails, shall we? Cheers, big ears. Ooh, not bad. The bitters is good. Okay, so gonna be back at the Hard Rock because, as always, you know, my stories kind of always start at the same place, and the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas is my hotel bar. It was just a big giant casino full of rock stars and actors all the time. It was awesome. Unfortunately, it is so not there anymore. I'm so sad. All my Vegas memories gone. But so anyway, we're at the Hard Rock. We're at the Center Bar, and I danced to one of my theme sets that I did. I had this Russian hat, German army hat from like the communist Russia that was smuggled in by Lemmy from the black market. I had this American army jacket. I'll put a picture of it up. You'll see the outfit. But anyway, I used to dance to Du Hast, and I was like, God, that Till Lindeman. Whew, daddy. As you can see by the thumbnail on this video, that is like climbing friggin' Mount Everest of a man. I am telling you. Whoo, daddy, that is like big mountain. Big mountain. And I'm not talking between his legs. I'm talking about just like his build. Till Lindeman, oh, he was so hot. So anyway, we go to the Hard Rock because everybody who played at the either at the Hard Rock or at the big arena at the time that was over at UNLV, all the rock bands stayed at the Hard Rock unless you played the House of Blues at Mandalay Bay, then you'd stay at the Mandalay Bay. So anyway, no Rammsteins in town, so go to the Hard Rock. Because, I just know they're going to be there. So Crazy Lisa and I, we go to the Center Bar, we grab our champs, we go to our perch, which I've told you guys about the little perch at the Hard Rock. Where we used to stand and we could see the front door, everything. We could just see everything that was going on. And we're about one down and we're kind of like, yeah, there looks like to be some interesting people here tonight, at least, I'm still looking for Ramstein and kind of looking for roadies, because you can kind of tell by then how roadies dress and stuff. You can pick them out of the crowd, that's for sure. And we were basically rock star hunting, sitting in our little tree perch. Anyway, so we're standing there, and all of a sudden I see Richard Crespo, I think his name is, and one of the other guys from Ramstein. And you can tell them coming in because they're in their German. You can tell these guys. Till was the only one that wasn't as, like, he was more in a black pants and a shirt type of thing. He was very well dressed and very dapper looking, casually casual suit type of thing, but not without the jacket. But anyway, so I see them and I'm like, ding, 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 ding. I know that Til's gonna be far, so or gonna be close behind. Or he better be. So we kind of are looking at them. They walk by our perch and they see us. They're like, "Oh, hello, lovely ladies," and we're like, "Hello, German boys." Hello. And so they just kind of give us a smile and walk and, "What are you doing?" We're like, "We're just having a drink, blah, blah, blah." And they come up the ramp and they start talking to us. And they're like, "We've never been to Vegas. This is our first time." And we start talking about that. And we order another thing of champs when all of a sudden, and I had my back to everything because I was always the one that got a hold of our bartender, Chattles. Hey, Chattles, or Jimmy. Jimmy was awesome. And then there was Jimmy, the VIP guy. Hi, guys. But so anyway, I was getting a hold of Chattles, and I hear him talking behind me, and I hear crazy Lisa just poking me in the back. Kind of, on the down low. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I turn around because I just hear more voices like they're saying, "Oh, hello," and they start talking in German. And I turn around and there he is. There he is. Oh, that big chest. I love a nice, strong. If you're going to be German, you're going to be fucking built like a Mack truck kind of German hot body. And Til Lindeman, yes. Oh my God. Hot body. I'm going to have to stop and break in the house for those of you who know what that means. So anyway, and he just kind of is looking me up and down, and he just gets this like look on his face like, I know I'm prey. And he probably knows he's prey, but this isn't my first German rock star because Mila Petrosa from Creator I've been with already a couple times. And German men, as far as like the preying on your groupie, rockstar preying on the groupie game, it's a totally different game. And it's a totally different, almost militant, totalitarian attitude when it comes to the women and the men and the dynamics. So I'm kind of like, okay, and like I always do, you see me, I can tell you like what you see, you have to make the moves. That was always our thing, but that's kind of the German thing. So he kind of is sitting there, and Lisa just zones in, and because there was, that frenemy thing that always went on between Lisa and I, and she was flirting with him, so I'm like, And we'll learn more about that frenemy thing in a couple more of the Steve Jones vlogs. Plays in later. But so anyway, we're just sitting there, and I can see Lisa's flirting with him, and he's just he's not even really, like, he looks down at her while she's talking, and saying something about her mom's German or was whatever. And he's just kind of looking down at her. And then the whole time she's talking, he just turns his eyes to me and just staring at me. And I'm just like, I'm bold, so I'm like, He's like, "What are you doing?" Comes over, he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing, what are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing. What are you doing?" I did that. I meant to do German, not British. But so, that kind of went on for a minute, this stupid thing. He's like, "What is your name?" I said, "Allison." He's like, "Oh, the Fräulein Allison." And he just starts coming in, and he just leans right up, because I've got my back to the bar. And I can feel Chattles behind me, our bartender, Chad. And he just leans up, and he's like, kind of gets right close, and he's like, orders his drink to Chad. And Chad kind of looks at him, he's like, "You don't know what kind of trouble you're in for with her." And Till just sort of looks over, he's like, "So what kind of trouble?" I'm like, "Oh, it'll be pleasurable trouble, don't worry. Well, I don't think you'll need bail money tonight." And he didn't really get that joke kind of thing, so... But anyway, he got his drink, and we were just standing there talking, and he was talking about how it was his first time in Las Vegas, and, "Oh, did you see this? Are you a gambler?" He wasn't much of a gambler, but, he just really wanted to kind of see the sights and stuff while he was here, because they had a couple days in Las Vegas. So they had 2 days before the show, and this was the first day before the show. So we were just kind of talking. I said, "Maybe I'll take you out," and blah, 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 blah. And the whole time he's still leaning on the bar, because we didn't leave the bar. Lisa's running around with Richard Crispo and the other guys. She's like, "I'll be right back." So they just sort of run around, because these guys were wanting to go play slot machines or something. And so she was going to take them to do whatever. So that left Till and I alone for like the next hour and a half. So we're just hanging out and talking. And he literally, every time he's leaning on the bar, and he keeps kind of inching his arm, till next thing I know, he just sort of Like a drink sliding across the bar, just slides me right into him. I think he might have even picked me up just slightly because I didn't even move my feet. I just felt my feet just slide across the ground. And he's like, "You are mine." He's like, "And I don't want to see you looking at anybody else." Like, he was just so, like, I am in control. And it turned me on. I'm not going to lie, because I'm a strong woman. I need a strong man to take the lead in a relationship. I want to be a 50-50 relationship, but I'm old school. Like, the guy has to make the moves. The guy on dates, it's like, I need a stronger man than me. And oh my God. Mm, mm. Like I said, it's just his body, because the second he pulled me up, I could just feel how sturdy he was, and just his pecs and everything, and he just slid me into him, and he's like, "You are mine." He's like, "I don't even want you looking at another man while I'm here." And he just grabs me, and he just put his, like, face into my neck, and he's like, just tell me good smell, whatever. And he's like, "I want you now." He's like, "I'm not going to wait for your friend anymore." And I was like, "That's okay, I've got the car keys. It's my car." And plus, I know, they would either comp her a room, or she'd sleep with one of the guys and the other guys in the band, or she would, take the Hard Rock limo home. She had her house keys. She's fine. Lisa's fine. So I was just like, "Okay, not that way." I said, "How are you going to get me up to your room?" I said, "This isn't enough." So he just sort of picked me up over his shoulder. He's like, "I'll take you. I'm not wearing knickers in my little mini skirts here, because I've got this little cute black dress with some knee high. I used to call my Wonder Woman little suede pull up boots. They were so cute." So, yeah. He just threw me over his shoulder. Next thing I know, we're at the elevator. I grab my purse from them, like, "Bye, Chattels," as he's taking me off because my butt's this way. And he goes walking off, so I just grab my purse in the bar. I'm like, "Bye, Chattels, see you later." Because, they're used to me being taken by some musician or actor or whatever at this hotel by now. Only a year into it, they were already used to it. I love the Hard Rock. I miss those guys. So we get upstairs to Til's room, because he just sort of tossed me over his shoulder in the elevator, and then just cornered me, like literally put me in the corner and just put his hands up and just kind of slowly came in, just looking at me, just the way he was looking at me with his eyes, like, how is he going to play with me, type of thing, or how is this? And he just kissed me, and I would have fucked him in that elevator. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't wearing underwear, so easy peasy. Get on in, me's. But no, I am a lady. I don't like to, I may not wear underwear, but I don't need to be showing everybody I don't wear underwear. That's a surprise later for the guy I'm sleeping with to find out, type of thing. There's things you just don't do on the first date. You can sleep with them, just not in the elevator. That's my dating advice. Uh-huh. Yeah, at least sleep with him in the bed the first time. The second time, which is usually the same night, then you can get a little crazier. Third or fourth time, then it's the elevator. Anyway, so he takes me to his room, takes me to his bed, and literally just kind of takes me by the arms and just tosses me, like, from behind. Like, he opens the door and he comes in. He opens the hotel room door for me, being a gentleman, because he really was a gentleman, and he's extremely intelligent, and I loved that about him, because he knows poetry and stuff, and we were talking about Yeats and talking about Nietzsche and just a lot of different things, and that was really cool to talk about, that you don't normally get to talk about with every rock star. I mean, every rock star is well educated in art in the world and stuff, so, but there's just different things that I got to talk to about Til. But anyway, so he just grabs me from behind and it was kind of rough, but still gentle at the same time. And that's how I describe Til. Rough and gentle at the same time, and deep, and he meant this. Like, I've heard a lot of stuff about Ramstein and how they treat groupies, but they treat back lounge Betties a certain way. Til was definitely treating me as the German man he is, and very in control of things. He was in control of things 3 times that night. Mm-hmm. And he was another one. I was actually like, well, I need to run downstairs, after the first or second time. I think it was after the second time. He's like, I'm like, I need to find my friend, make sure she's okay. He's like, no. He's like, you are not leaving. He's like, because you don't go down, you go downstairs, you would not come back up. He's got this fucking beautiful deep voice. Oh my God. I love sexy voices too. So I love Steve Jones's voice. But so he wouldn't even let me go. And this was kind of an indication of how things were going to go. So I was like, well, I need to find out. So he calls, Richard's room. He's like, I'll call my friend, my other bandmate's room. We find out. Okay. So she was all good. She was in someone's room, not his, but someone else's. So she was safe. We were good. Cool beans. Called down the room. I said, I'm in this room. Call me in the morning. Cool beans. Because that's what you do as groupies when you have friends. You make sure we're all okay. We're all getting home okay. We've got each other's backs. We'll see you in the morning at the lobby. Groupies have their own lobby calls. So, anyway, it was a great night. Like, I got no sleep at all. None at all. None. Thank God. So the next morning, I tell him, I said, I really do. Lisa calls the room. I'm like, okay, I got to go home. I said, do you want to hang out some more? And he's like, every second I'm in this town, I want you. Just you. Because, like, seriously, I ravaged him. He ravaged me. That's how it was the whole night long. Just, like, he would just look straight at me and dive in like a leopard on his prey. It was fucking awesome. So the next day we're hanging out. He wants to go down the strip and do stupid little Vegas-y things, and then I take him to places that you don't know in Vegas, and little, out of the way places. So we're having fun, but if a guy would look at me, he would like pull in. He's like, you're not look at him. So it was very not jealous, but you are going to respect me, and this is how we respect. And I'm like, oh, I'm cool with that, because this is rock and roll. There are very much rules to this whole no strings attached stuff. So fine by me. This is already something I'm used to. When you're with someone, you're with someone. For that moment, you're standing right next to him. Don't be looking at anybody else. Don't be talking about anybody else. Nothing like that. And that's kind of the way it went the rest of the time he was in town. Like, we spent the day, we had lunch, over at the Harley Davidson Cafe, which he thought was so awesome. And we went to there was an art museum that had Picasso's and Fabergé eggs and stuff inside the Bellagio, so we went there. And it was really cool because, I don't really have that much opportunities to do this with my rock stars, because usually they're in town about 1 or 2 o'clock. We just go out to dinner, to have drinks, show day, they leave the next morning. So when bands have a couple days off in a row, it's awesome because you get to make these really cool, stupid little memories with each other. And he was like, we were talking and stuff, and he's just so awesome to talk, and that's what I could tell was turning me on, because he even said at a dinner that night, which we made reservations at Picasso's at the Bellagio, and he was just like, I don't meet many girls, groupies, and he's like, I don't mean that rude for you, but he's like, I don't meet many groupies that are intelligent. They're only good for one thing, and to be tossed out when I'm done. He's like, but I like you. He's like, you're smart. And I was like, wow, thank you. I am educated, despite what some people may have to say about my book. But, so they kind of endeared me to him, and I didn't mind his being so kind of controlling, and not really controlling in like an abusive or manipulative way, because that does happen, but this was not one of those circumstances. So he was just kind of like that. Like, I don't even have a backstage pass for this concert, because I walked in with him. When he went on stage, he put his laminate around my neck. I was on the side of the stage. I did not move for a thing. There was an assistant that was going and grabbing everything for me, this girl, whatever I needed, whether it be water. If I went to the bathroom, she was coming with me. And that was and he told her that in German, But I had a great time. Like I said, we went out to an amazing dinner at Picasso's. We had such an incredible conversation, and he taught me a lot of different things about Germany and art and just different poets and stuff that I was like, wow. And even laying in bed, we had ordered breakfast the second night. We had ordered breakfast into the room the day before the show, because he had told me, when you come, he's like, just bring your suitcase. He's like, I don't want you even going home. He's like, you are staying here. I was like, okay. So I packed, a bag for a couple days to stay with him. And so the show day when we were ordering breakfast, oh, I forgot where I was going. Oh, he was just like reading me, like he had this book of poetry and he was just like reading me this poetry. And it was just such a relaxed, awesome little thing, just laying there and listening to him do it, because normally it might have been cheesy, but coming from Til, it was pretty awesome. But his soft side did have that heavy side too. And like I said, at the show, great show. It's the only time I've ever got to see Rammstein, and I love him. Absolutely loved it. They played Engel for me. He dedicated it to me because it was my favorite Rammstein song. And yeah, we just had a great time. But we didn't even just hold hands. Like, he would take my arm and loop it into his, and then he would hold my hand on top of that. So, he was always next to me. Even when I would go in the shower, he was pulling the James Hetfield. He was in that bathroom with me, whether he was in the shower or not. He was still constantly talking and watching everything that I did, and not controlling anything, just observing and enjoying, kind of getting to know me in these stupid little ways. Like, he was even helping me put on my lipstick and stuff. Because he was intrigued, and I loved that. And we did see each other a couple more times. He had flown back to Vegas just to hang out, which was cool. But he went back to Germany, and that was that. So, and like I said, even in bed, I loved it because he took total control. And even if I would try and roll on top and do what I'd want to do, it's like, no. He would not even say anything. He would just control and turn me back right around to what we were doing. But like I said, he was very respectful. He was very sweet. But he was just that. Once he's into you, he is into you. And that's it. That's it. Which I love. I don't want my man saying, I love you and I'm into you, and then turning around the second they're out of sight and having 12 different other women. Back then it was a lot. And the rock stars don't like it either. It's like, when you're with them, respect them. Just live up to your own words. That's all. And I did, because I told Til, I'm like, I'm not that type. I'm like, I get the rules. Like, there's rules to this no strings attached thing. And he's like, I like that, the no strings attached. And we even talked about the rules, you don't leave your girl, you don't leave your man. You don't go around talking or flirting or being too drunk, so, but we'll talk about those. So there you guys go. There's my Til Lindeman experience, the first one where I met him in Las Vegas. Like I said, we both just zinged right onto each other, and he was just militant from the second we met, and I kind of liked it. Because he still gave me 50-50. He didn't want to go to Circus to the amusement park, but he let me because I wanted to. So we went. Then we went to the museum. All right, guys. Thanks again so much, everybody, for tuning in, for all the awesome support and love and the conversations. You guys rock. And for coming to me and trusting me, I can't even tell you guys how much that means to me. So let's spread me. Let's get to 1,000. Let's start giving things away. Let's start really making this channel bigger. Danny's going to be coming on. I've got a big groupie from the 80s. Mandy from Detroit that's going to be coming on. I'm going to talk to Dee Dee Thunders and a couple others. Kristen, of course. How can I forget Kristen? Because I want to have Danny and Kristen on before I have anybody else on. Because, they're the priority. So, thank you guys again for helping me grow this channel little by little. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it so much. So, hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit the share. Hit my bells. We'll see you next week for some more Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.